When good intentions clash with old wiring, why change feels hard, and what to do about it. Ever notice how your emotions support your current habits, even when those habits are the things you're trying to change? That's not a flaw, it's wiring. Your feelings are truthful in the sense that they accurately reflect your most dominant thoughts, beliefs, and habits. When you're living in alignment with healthy routines and empowering beliefs, your emotions tend to feel supportive, steady, and energized. That's a healthy and useful system. But the moment you try to change something, cut the sugar, start the meditation practice, speak up with more confidence, or reduce your screen time, suddenly your emotions revolt. You feel tired, doubtful, unmotivated, craving comfort, and strangely, even a little sad or agitated. It's not because something's wrong, it's because something is different. This is a core concept most people overlook, and it's the most important distinction to get from this. Your emotions are consistent with the dominant mental pathways your brain has rehearsed the most. So when you act outside those well-worn paths, it feels off because your emotions echo the past, not endorsing the future you're building. So remember, your emotions are consistent with the dominant mental pathways your brain has rehearsed the most. In other words, it will feel more familiar when you stick with your old habits, good or bad. And the unfamiliar feelings, the hesitation, the doubt, they thrive in the breeding ground of procrastination. We can then safely conclude emotions reflect dominant thoughts or habit patterns, not your highest or best self. Think of your emotional state as the output of a deeply ingrained system. Your brain is a prediction machine running on repeated thought, behavior, and expectation loops. The more a thought or behavior is repeated, the more fluent and automatic it becomes. This fluency generates familiarity, and familiarity tends to feel right. That's why lying on the couch and doom scrolling for an hour can feel oddly comforting, even if your higher self quietly screams, "This isn't what I want." So here's the critical point. When you align with your intentions but conflict with your past habits, your emotions will not immediately support you. So don't expect it, and that's okay. The myth of, "I need to feel like it." This is where most change efforts go wrong. We wait to feel ready, motivated, clear, and energized. But those feelings are produced by repetition and momentum, not by daydreams and resolution. Instead, we literally have to build neural familiarity in our brains so that the habit feels good to us. That takes practice and doing. If you're waiting to feel like meditating before you sit down, or waiting to feel like working out before putting on your sneakers, you may be waiting a long time, at least at first. What you'll find, however, is that once you act, emotions begin to follow. That's how rewiring works. Action first, emotion second. Over time, the emotional resistance weakens and eventually reverses. We just have to keep at it for a while, and soon we will get there. How to make change stick, even when you don't feel like it. Let's simplify this. If you want to shift habits and follow through on your intentions, there are 3 key principles that will support you. Master these, and you'll notice a dramatic change, not only in what you do, but in how you feel while doing it. 1. Clarify and emotionally anchor your why. Your why is your emotional compass. It's what keeps you grounded when the winds of habit and emotion try to knock you off course. But here's the key. Your why can't live in your head. It needs to live in your body. That means you must emotionally connect to it, visualize it, feel the impact, imagine the relief, freedom, or joy that comes from making this change, and hold that image in your mind and heart every day. For example, don't just say, "I want to be healthier." Say, "I want to feel light, strong, and fully alive so I can hike with my daughter next summer and not hold her back." That's a visceral why, one that motivates when emotions say, "Just take a day off." Revisit your why often, especially when you don't feel like doing the thing you promised yourself. Second, act first, even when it feels wrong. This is the biggest shift. Stop waiting for your feelings to align with your goals. Lead with action, not emotion. Your brain is a pattern machine. When you act repeatedly in a new direction, even while uncomfortable, you begin to build new neural pathways. Over time, those pathways start to feel right, but not at first. So yes, starting that new habit may feel awkward, fake, forced, or even wrong. That's okay. That's expected. That's actually a sign you're on the right path. The most successful people are not those who feel inspired every day. They're the ones who do the work even when inspiration is nowhere to be found. That kind of consistency rewires your emotional feedback loop and makes follow-through easier over time. So don't wait, start, and let your feelings catch up later. 3. Lower the bar so you can clear it every day. It's tempting to go big when you're starting a new habit. I'm going to work out every day for an hour. I'll meditate for 30 minutes. I'll never check social media again. But your brain doesn't work that way. It resists big, abrupt shifts, especially when those changes contradict years of habitual wiring. Instead, aim small, so small that success is inevitable. Put on your sneakers and step outside. Sit in silence for 60 seconds. Delay opening Instagram by 10 minutes. These micro actions bypass the emotional resistance and build success momentum. And success momentum is everything, because when your brain starts stacking wins, your emotions begin to change. You start to feel like someone who follows through, someone who finishes, someone who's in charge. That's when the tide turns. Real change starts in the brain. And sometimes, no matter how much we understand the process, it still feels hard to execute. That's because the brain itself may be dysregulated, locked into patterns that resist flexibility, focus, and emotional balance. At Capital District Neurofeedback, we work with adults and children to help retrain the brain's regulatory systems. Neurofeedback is a safe, non-invasive tool that helps the brain self-correct and improve its own functioning, making emotional balance and behavior change more accessible and less of a constant uphill battle. But remember, you don't need to wait for your brain to feel ready. You need to start. One small step, one repeatable habit, one clear and strong. Why? Why is worth my time? Why invest the energy? Why change? Why make this life better? Look for the strong, compelling, and meaningful why that touches your soul, your heart. Then watch what happens.